is a senior fellow and director of research in foreign policy studies at the Brookings Institution. That's a public policy think tank here in Washington. Michael, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Let me begin with where Richard left off with this little tiff between French President Macron and Donald Trump. Is the bromance officially over?
That's a great question. The answer is maybe. But we also know that even though he seems very vindictive, and I think he probably is vindictive at a personal level, President Trump is capable of walking back these kinds of things when he decides there's a good reason to. And I think we've seen, problems with President Xi or President Putin or Chairman Kim Jong-un at times. And then, especially with, let's say, the North Korean leader, Trump was definitely at loggerheads with him in 2017, a lot of insults flying across the Pacific, and then they have their bromance afterwards. So I just don't know at what point it becomes impossible to repair a rift. I would think that in this case, the two men could repair it if they wanted to, because the disagreements don't seem that major to me. And the question is, do they have enough of an incentive? Is there anything positive, apart from making you and me feel better, that comes from them repairing their rift? And, it's going to have to be for some tangible reason that they will bother to do it. But I think they could if they so chose.
And I think another major story so far coming out of this summit is Trump's shifting perspective, if you will, on NATO. Boy, what a difference just a few years makes, from calling it obsolete on the campaign trail, then bashing the alliance. Now he's gone to being a champion, saying NATO serves a great purpose.
Yeah, I'm glad. We were joking a little bit earlier here that maybe Macron is playing a complicated game of chess with the president. And by Macron attacking NATO and then attacking or being seen to attack Trump, he winds up getting Trump to defend NATO just out of spite. But in any event, that's probably slightly too cunning of a motivation. But if that's the effect, that Trump winds up in defense of the alliance, then I think that's a good thing. And of course, President Trump could decide as he goes into his re-election year, or his attempted re-election, to decide to claim great credit and progress within NATO as a result of all the browbeating he's done to different allies. Military budgets are a bit higher overall in the alliance. NATO's preparations in the east with the Baltic states and Poland are a little more advanced against Russian provocations. And so Trump could decide to look on the bright side as a way of furthering his own electoral ambitions for 2020.
And Michael, I got to ask you about NATO member Turkey, which has ruffled a number of feathers, shall we say, in recent weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, there are a lot of squabbles, and I think your correspondent put it well. There's a family row going on, and Turkey's one big part of it. But I also think that fundamentally, we Americans have to be sort of grateful for what Turkey has done in the Syria conflict, because it's absorbed so many refugees. It's made mistakes, but it's absorbed refugees. So I think overall, on balance, Turkey is an important pillar of NATO's southeast.
All right, Michael Hanlon, wish we had more time. Thank you.